Welcome to Life Hacks Beyond Convention with Dee and Sonia.
I was really keen to see, or keen's not the right word, happy. I was really happy to see that we had a lot of good candidates besides just Labor and Liberal this time round.
Yes, yeah,
I was really happy. I just looked and thought, yep, there was a number of good good candidates to vote for.
yeah.
Mm.
So,
There was some wackadoodles too.
there's got to be a few of them. I always wish Kanye West got in America a few years back because
Okay.
he was useless, but that's just me sort of wanting to see the implosion of the US quicker, and it's going to happen anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's sort of, yeah, self-defense. I think it's the belief that they're the best in the world at everything, or the only, or the world revolves around them. It's that social construct that I struggle with more than anything.
Well, every like when we look at history, there's an empire that's in control all the time, isn't there? So, and definitely the US have been that empire for quite some time now.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting because I was reading somewhere that they said, I think it was about 70 years was the really common rise and fall of an empire
Yep.
throughout history. And I think, well, the US are well over 70 years. So, so
Yes.
they've had longevity. So it's
Yes.
going to be interesting. And if there is a fall of the American empire,
Mm.
which I, I don't know, because who would take their place? I don't
Yeah.
know whether it's going to be anybody that I would prefer to see in that position of power.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But then in some ways, I think perhaps this has to happen from a reset, like, okay, have a bit of a jolt with somebody else and then resort yourselves out. So, yeah, I don't know.
I like the Western style of living.
Mm. So do I. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that leaves us, England that's had its kings and queens, and we're not big enough or powerful enough, population-wise, more than anything. Kind of leaves Russia and China hanging there, doesn't it? Mm.
And I think if I've got to choose between Russia, China, and US, I'm going to go US every time.
Yeah. So they better get their act together quickly, you reckon?
Yeah, because I am not a fan of socialism or communism. I
Mm,
much more sit on the side of capitalism,
mm,
even though a lot of people don't like capitalism. I think it's brought us a lot of the innovation and luxuries that we have as
yeah.
a result of capitalism.
Mm.
Mm,
Capitalism allows those who want to do things and get rewarded for it, and those
mm,
who don't want to do anything not get rewarded for doing nothing and
mm,
and live the lives that they have chosen. It's yeah,
mm.
it's a form of freedom, but those who don't like it are the ones that don't want to do anything.
Well, that's it.
Mm.
And think that, oh, well, I just want to do this and society should pay me to do that.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
your fault I haven't got anything because you've got my share without
Mm,
realizing that we actually create wealth all the time.
mm,
So it's that
mm,
misunderstanding I feel I have. I want to explain to certain people and then I don't bother because I know they don't want to know.
mm,
Listen, so yeah.
mm,
Mm.
mm. And that some of the concepts on a very high level actually do appear appealing.
Mm.
It's only when you start to dig underneath and understand some of the nuances and then ask the questions of where does that lead that you
Yeah.
start to realize that maybe that's not as an effective way of running a country as what we think,
Yes. Yeah.
because the outcomes perhaps aren't going to be what you think they're going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, because here in Australia, we do have a bit of the sort of, well, we would be classed as a socialist democracy, wouldn't we?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
Certainly if you asked an American, we would be that.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
And definitely our healthcare is one of
yeah.
those aspects of it. And, we can bash it all, like a lot of people do bash our healthcare, but man, at the end of the day, I kind of like it. I
Well, I
like the
like it
fact,
being available, yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just think I don't ever have to worry. The reality is, it doesn't matter where in Australia I am. If I'm involved in a car accident, they will get me to the hospital I need to get to,
Yeah.
and they'll supply whatever. And if that hospital doesn't have what it needs, they'll fly in a helicopter and get me to where I need to
Yeah.
go.
Yes. Yeah.
And it won't cost me anything.
And I wonder what was missing out of the US as it built itself to have not installed some system like that. But
I
yeah.
don't understand it enough. I know when one of my daughters lived over there for a while, they got to see the workings of it a little bit more. And she said it wasn't as bad as what she thought. She said,
Oh, okay.
actually, yeah, so there was a family that they lived with for a while who were not as wealthy, and yeah, there was a lot of things in place for their children in
Oh,
particular.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that were just, I can't remember the nuances.
Yeah.
Anything I said, I'd be exaggerating or
Yeah.
making up slightly. But yeah, and I just thought, oh, okay, there really is more support there than as Australians what we realise.
Okay. So, oh yeah, I guess we're only going to see the worst, aren't we? Well,
We are.
hit the subscribe button below if you want to follow Life Hacks Beyond Convention.